one of my last ones, and this one I chewed on for a little bit, and then it clicked for me. Okay. Tyler, the Creator, and Jimmy Butler. Now walk with me, gang. Walk with me, gang. Welcome back, people. We're here. It's Sound Bites, the part of the Album Mode podcast where we're talking about the music, the culture, the internet, how all three of those things intertwine. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Our whole apparatus that we got going on here. This is a nice, fun element of the Album Mode podcast where we're talking about shit that's happening today. This is Démar Grant, a.k.a. King Grant, and I'm here with Adriel Smiley, a.k.a. AdrielSmiley.com, a.k.a. The Godfather, a.k.a. Adriel Smiley Official, a.k.a. Mr. Smiley. And we're also here with our producer, I was going to say Patient Zero. Patient Zero.
Yeah, depends who you ask.
Patient Zero, a.k.a. Chris. We're back. And the latest thing that we're talking about is AI music. You know that we're on the AI beat.
It's been a little while.
It's been a little bit, but there's been a development. AI music is now being accepted at the Grammys. Adriel, can you please explain to us, just give us a little bit of a primer on the AI music Grammy situation?
So the Grammys will allow AI-generated elements to compete for awards. And now they're just basically all the way eligible. But they said that the Grammy themselves, the actual award, will have to go to a human. I don't know what difference that makes. But they said that if there's no human authorship, then it will not be eligible. Okay. So I think that's maybe the muddy part here of like there has to be a human involved. How do you decide what's human authorship? I saw this clip the other day of Ty Dolla $ign saying he's created an AI app himself that allows people to use his voice in songs. And he said he's using it for songwriters. Yeah. That if someone writes a song for him, he will give them the app to download and they can put the song that they've written for Ty Dolla $ign into the app. And then he can hear how the song will sound with him on it before even having to record it. Right. So that may be classified as, some authorship. It's written by a human. But I think that there's no way that this is going to win, like any AI generated music is going to win in the Grammys, unless it's just not known. And that's why you said how much I thought was crucial, because there may be some songs that we don't know have AI parts in them. And, those songs may do well. But I think if it's known from the jump that, there are AI parts. Yeah, there'll also be, I feel like, a bias against AI stuff, just because music fans, or not even fans, music creators, like people who actually like make music and stuff, they're purists, Oh, 100%. And they're the ones who are voting.
Yeah, they're the people that are voting, and they're typically, they tilt more towards the purist side when it comes to music. I think we even talked about the Grammy voting, right? Where we went through that Variety article.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Right? When the person was like, I like Harry Styles. And they were like, I like Harry Styles, and he's like the only person I really listened to this one, this year, so I voted for them. Or like, some people are just like, I love that they use live instrumentation instead of just using a computer to make the music, and they'll vote for you. So if the voters know that it's like AI generated, I just feel as though the Academy they're not gonna be fans of that. You would have to hide that.
And that's where I think there is some kind of trickiness in this. We mentioned this last time talking about people who have passed, people using AI for their music. This kind of disclosure thing with AI, there's no rules around this yet. And so you hope that everyone is kind of upfront and says, this whole second verse was AI, first verse wasn't. And I think that that's going to be kind of the muddy area of how much people are sharing. I talked about Ty Dolla $ign. In that clip that I saw, he said that in that situation he outlined, he wouldn't redo the song. He's like, I might add a couple parts, but I would put the song out with the AI of my voice.
Wow.
And so it's like, does Ty Dolla $ign mean he's going to tell us that he's doing that? And how's that going to go? And so that's why I think this is going to be interesting, because there's almost, I think having AI elements in your song is almost guaranteeing you not to win.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
So it's like, are people going to start lying about it? And two, Agent Zero, Patient Zero, however you want to say it, he mentioned this to us before about there's been AI in producing for a long time in terms of mixing, mastering, making beats. And so is that going to be counted as AI now? Is Metro Boomin have 15% AI in his music? Yeah. So I think there's going to be this kind of gray area of what do we call AI? What is people disclosing for AI? Because you made a great point of the music purist thing. And that exists to this day. That hasn't gone anywhere. It's not going anywhere.
Right.
So AI does not count as being kind of part of pure music.
Yeah, and especially, the voters for like awards like this tend to be older.
That's correct.
Right? And there was a point in time where you were like making music and producing it through a computer and people were like, that's not real music. And then there was a point in time where rap music was a thing just starting and they were like, that's not real music. So you're getting further and further away from what a purist who like strums a guitar or plays a piano is considering like music, right? So now when you're just like, it's just spit out by a computer, even me personally, I would not vote for you.
No.
Because you just, so it wasn't you, it was the computer, right? So I think that is what's going to become like dicey for a lot of people. And that's why I said there's going to be I feel like there's going to be a bias against you if you do a lot of stuff with AI. It just seems that way.
Here's the pro that I see. And this is probably the only pro that I see. I think we need to bring bullying back. We need to bring shame back. And I think that if there is some shame around having more kind of digital computerized music, I'm so for that. I see that now in terms of producers who this producer sounds like real instruments. This is more digital. And I see kind of the push and pull of certain groups saying, you're all the electronic shit. And so I'm cool with that. I don't mind that being the energy of, the real instruments is more the real music. Yeah. Because I think that would benefit us all as a whole. So if that is a plus that comes from this, as we get a little bit more bullying, a little bit more peer pressure from artists to other artists. I don't love black on black crime, but artist on artist crime, you can always sign me up for that. So that's a plus I hope that comes from this, is that even more credibility is given to those who are using real instruments. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I feel about it too. I think that I just will always have I'll always have an issue where it's like, okay, but the person didn't actually make it. And also AI music, if you've heard it, it kind of sucks. I think the best version of it so far that I've heard was the Drake Weeknd song. I thought that was good. Yeah, and even then, it was like a mediocre Drake song, and it was a bad version of The Weeknd. It was a really bad version of The Weeknd. So that's kind of it. Like, maybe it'll become more sophisticated in the future where we don't even realize it, or it's become easily masked or something like that. Sure, I guess. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, I would say. But currently, as AI exists, I'm like, first of all, I don't think it's good enough. But then I'm like, I don't think I support it. I'm not about that life. Yeah, I'm not pro AI either. My stance has not changed. Yeah. Through any of that. But listen, interested to see how that goes. If you use it to help you, like in the songwriting portion, like you can't think of a certain rhyme or something like that, then it's like the same thing as having like a rhyme book. Yeah. That's not that deep. Yeah, but if it's like verse 1 is written by a computer, I'm definitely not about that life. Yeah, before we move on to some fun stuff, the energy we gave Drake for working with Quentin Miller, we got to give everyone that same energy for using AI. Yeah, I think that's the only fair way to do this. Exactly, that's exactly where I am. So I think that's the only fair way to do this. I thought that this next thing we're talking about in terms of having comps for basketball players and rappers, I actually have a note that has this exact same thing, and it's from 2014. Whoa, so, really? Yeah, it has a few players in there. Okay. So when you brought this up, I was like, I've been ready for this. I've been ready for this. But I wanted to start with that note because those comps are so far. Yeah, when was this again? Which year? 2014. Okay. So it's like, almost 10 years ago. Yeah, so it's like these comps are kind of like far from accurate now because a lot has changed in music. A lot has changed in basketball. Yeah. The first one, 2014, was Kyrie Irving and Big Sean. And my thought there was kind of divisive. This was like not the peak of the internet hating Big Sean, but this is when it was starting to bubble up.
Yeah.
And, people were kind of calling him boring, corny, all type of different stuff. But technically, he was just, so sound to me.
Yep.
I think Kyrie is the same way.
Yep.
And as well, I thought of how rappers talk about Big Sean and the way ball players talk about Kyrie.
Facts.
I thought that was a good one for me because Kyrie's one of those guys you're never hearing any hooper say nothing bad about him.
Yeah.
It's always Kyrie might be the most skilled player of all time. And, Big Sean is the same way. Your rappers who you may think are way better than Big Sean talk about him like he's a god level rapper. So
yeah,
that one is probably the only one that fits out of the ones I have left.
Okay. That's it.
I'm giving the 2014 first before we get to the new ones. Anthony Davis and Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
This is 2014, so Kendrick has obviously surpassed anything of this before.
Way
but this was more of a potential play.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people were saying Anthony Davis has the talent to become an MVP one day, best player in the league. Now, personally, I didn't think so, but I thought that was fitting because Kendrick Lamar, this is when the hype train really got going. Obviously there was a lot of hype coming out for Kendrick, but 2014 is when it was really, really bubbling up.
Yep.
I think that was right before From the Butterfly. So, this is really, really
same year.
Really fitting.
Yeah.
So that one I think didn't age as well, but in the moment it made a lot of sense. And I made it wrong. This third one I think ages greatly, and this is probably the last one that I think will work. LeBron as Drake. I think that just goes hand in hand.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think the scrutiny they've been under, the hype, how basically the rules are bent for them.
I don't know about that one. I don't know. I'm not sure about that last one.
That's a funny one. I think that's like everything they do is such an event.
Yeah.
I use the example of LeBron having that temper tantrum last year. I think it was against the Celtics.
Yeah.
But
he actually got fouled though.
In crypto. No, he did get fouled, but
no, what do you mean he didn't get fouled?
No, he did get fouled,
Yeah, okay.
but if that had been any other player during that tantrum, it'd have been a whole different story. So that's kind of that little LeBron effect for you. And then Drake, it's like we've moved on from Drake's card getting declined, while trying to bet online.
Oh,
and it's like a bunch of other people going through that when he's betting millions of dollars every month.
Yeah.
Have their card decline. Other people, other rappers, that would still be the joke that we're making. So I do think that was a good one that fits, but I feel like you got a bunch, and I want to hear how kind of accurate these are.
You said the Drake one and LeBron. I feel like that still sticks today, though.
Yeah.
It still sticks 100%. Even in the idea of the consistency. Drake drops an album. Like I said it before, Drake is like Call of Duty, bro. He drops an album every single year. Right. And he even recently talked about it where he was like, I'm not like, I don't like taking breaks. And I'm not like these other people where I like to, the summer comes around. I want to have people listen to my music.
He wants to be the guy. Right.
So there's that. And just like LeBron, for a period in time, LeBron went to 11 straight finals, bro. The finals, it was LeBron versus.
Yeah. No, LeBron was that guy every year.
Yeah, he was basically the final boss.
Actually.
Right?
Actually.
LeBron was the final boss for 10. Was it 11? I think it was 11 straight.
I think it was 8 straight and 10 total.
Yeah. But he was basically the final boss for people, right? And I think that Drake is kind of like that. Right? The consistency level, and then he's there every year. You gotta surpass him.
Yes.
Every team you have to beat LeBron. You have to beat LeBron to win, basically.
Yeah.
So I think that's like the crossover is big between them. Also, they're one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
LeBron's probably second best. Drake is probably top 10. People don't want to hear that, but Drake is probably top 10.
Yeah, he is.
And they've been around for feels like forever. Drake's been around since 2009.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say the Drake LeBron comp, perfect.
Thank you.
All right. So I have a list here. I'm probably not going to share my entire list, but I have a list here that I think is controversial sometimes, but sometimes you got to just hear me out.
I feel like you're going to have a couple of the same as me I have.
Okay.
But I wonder if you have the same players that I have.
Okay.
So I'm interested to hear it.
Okay. So my first one here, I'm going to just start off with a bang. Trae Young is Gunna. Okay.
Wow.
Trae Young and Gunna, both, this is going to come from my perspective, both overrated, right? Also, the person that they came up with, drafted, is actually significantly better than them.
Okay,
even
fair.
though that they're both
good.
They're both good. The other one is actually significantly better. They're rated better, right, by most people. And I think Gunna is also, he's got a vibe. Yeah, I acknowledge the vibe. He's charting very well, but I don't think Gunna's ever gonna win like an award for his work. And I don't think Trae Young is ever gonna win MVP. Whether or not Trae Young wins a ring, I doubt. Significant doubt on that end as well.
Fair.
So I think that Trae Young, Gunna, they're equivalent to me. I
have one pushback for this, and maybe this blows up the whole thing, and we got to reconvene on a separate soundbites. But I think Gunna is much more liked than Trae Young.
Yeah,
and I think that this is probably the biggest difference for me because Trae Young is probably one of the least liked superstars since that year that James Harden averaged 30 and didn't make the All-NBA team.
But here's my rebuttal to that, because I thought about that. Just Trae Young and Gunna are even more synonymous in the sense because the casuals think that they're phenomenal. They're like at the top end. But the people who are really in it, nitty gritty, listen to every album, watch every game, they're actually like, they're not that nice.
Okay, so I would argue that's the opposite for Trae Young.
I don't think so.
I think the casuals think that he's not as good because they don't hear his name as much and see him, on the headlines as much. I think the casuals know that Trae Young is still good. Other people are just better. So
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so I would say that for Trae, he's actually the opposite of that. Okay. Yeah.
Well,
but I like where you're going with that one. Maybe we'll find some new people for the both of them.
Okay. What about you? Your next one? Do you want to go next?
This next one,
we're doing this because of free agency starting right now. So we're basically like just having fun with rappers and NBA players. But go ahead.
This one, it hurt my heart to do this.
Oh wow.
But I felt like this is actually accurate, at least for the present. This is very much July 2023. And that's Chance the Rapper and Ben Simmons.
That's perfect comp, though, I think, actually.
I think that one works because, Chance the Rapper was the new guy, acid rap, the first independent.
We thought he was going to be the next guy.
The next guy. Ben Simmons was the number one pick, and it wasn't even arguable coming into the game. And they both had a lot of success early. We talked about Chance and all he did.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons, an all-NBA player, all-star player. So I thought that was pretty similar. And then, of course, internet turned on both of them. and I like to highlight the internet because I don't think Chance actually is just not going to make music anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that the internet just decided if you're going to love your wife on your own time, do some more drugs. We want to hear about that. Ben Simmons, he did this to himself, I think, partly. Obviously, Doc and Joel played their part in it. Yeah. But I do think, Ben lost the internet at one point because he was kind of the internet's darling for a little bit of like, just let him get a jumper or
you just gotta wait. Yeah, just wait.
And I think now they've both lost the internet. So I hope that, a year from now, none of these are true and they can both get the internet back. But it feels like that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, I totally agree. I didn't even think of that. I was trying to be like, who's Ben Simmons like? And it's almost like it's hard to determine who Ben Simmons is like because you have to be like, who is just like forgotten?
Yeah.
Right? And then I was like, oh, Chance the Rapper, perfect.
Yeah.
Chance the Rapper. Remember when Chance the Rapper was literally the biggest thing since sliced bread? Like, actually, though.
Yeah.
Doing collabs with Kanye. He had the exclusive deal with Apple for one of his albums. Like, it was crazy.
Chance is probably the example of why I always get fearful when someone becomes white hot like that.
Yeah.
Really someone who I'm aware of their music when I'm like, y'all like him a lot, but y'all don't like him for the right reasons, it feels like. So, yeah, tough.
Yeah, he also laid an egg what was the name of the Big Day? That was an egg. You know what's also crazy about that album?
Yeah.
He's holding the disc and it's see-through. Like it's a see-through disc.
For that to be the album that flops?
Yeah. It's like there's nothing here, literally.
Oh man.
Crazy, so man. I love that. Okay. So now here I'm gonna get into.
You can do a few in a row because I don't have that many.
Okay.
Left.
I have a good amount. My next one. that I'm gonna throw out here is Megan Thee Stallion and Ja Morant. Right? Megan Thee Stallion, huge. When she came out, immediately massive. Everybody, Megan Thee Stallion this, Megan Thee Stallion that. She has a bunch of hit songs. Massive. Everybody loves Megan Thee Stallion highlights. Okay? Same thing with Ja Morant. Ja Morant comes out, dunking on people, through the legs, behind the back, passes, all that type of shit. Obviously, the gun crossover exists there, right? That's just, I just want to put that as lightly as possible. The gun crossover.
The gun crossover is crazy.
There is a gun crossover between the two.
That's a double entendre. I'm just waiting for tablets to put that in the bar.
Right? There's a gun crossover between the two, but I think their career paths are very similar because Megan Thee Stallion, bunch of breakout hits and stuff like that, lots of singles, phenomenal rapper, just strictly, but has not been able to put that together on a project to give her like the staple project. You know what I mean? Same with Ja Morant. Got the massive highlights. Also an excellent passer, right? He's doing very well. You know, he won the Most Improved Player of the Year award, right? His floor vision is incredible, right? But has not put it all together to being like doing a conference finals run, MVP run. That's missing. So I think, even though it sounds a little bit crazy, Ja Morant and Megan Thee Stallion, I think, are synonymous. I think that they're equivalent. I
just want to, for the record, say that there's no victim blaming going on here.
Absolutely not.
With that comparison.
Absolutely not.
But I don't hate that one. I think also something that's a part of it is like, we're kind of waiting for the next step from both of them, the next part of their career. You know, so I think there is something there for sure.
Okay. All right. The next one, I teased this one earlier, right? Where we were talking about, I forgot which album. I think Young Thug, Gunna, somebody's album.
Yeah.
21 Savage, Klay Thompson.
Okay. Oh, that's a good one.
21 Savage fits on every single person's project. He's collaborated with Post Malone, collaborated with Drake, probably done things with Young Thug. He's done things with, I think he's even done stuff with Travis Scott.
Yeah.
Right? He's done work with everybody. He's had hit songs like Her Loss, him and Drake. That was actually good. He got a good album out of Drake in the late stage of Drake. We also have, he has Savage Mode, Savage Mode 2. Yeah. He's had his hit songs. He has his Grammys, so he's got his, he has his huge moments, the accolades, got all of that, fistful. But I wouldn't say 21 Savage is the number one dude. But you want him on every song. He was huge on Congratulations.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Huge on Congratulations. Huge in his own album, his collabs with J. Cole. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fits with, spits flying over. But fits with everyone.
Yes.
Everybody wants him on his team.
Works well with stars.
Exactly.
Yes.
And he's rewarded as such.
Yes.
So 21 Savage, Klay Thompson. I know it sounds a little crazy, but I'm getting crazy with the comps, okay?
I actually like this one a lot. This might be the one I like the most out of all the ones you've had.
Yeah.
Because I think personality-wise, too.
Yeah.
They both apparently have, like, quirky, funny personalities behind the scenes.
Yeah, they both, like, kind of care about, like, not what they're doing. Like, 21 Savage is an R&B fan.
Yeah, exactly. They're not consumed by the world that they're in, I'll say. And as well, they both have this kind of deadpan, delivery to them with whatever they do, where it's like, this is just what it is. I'm just a guy. And so I think personality-wise, you found something there.
Yeah.
And I'll say for sure, it feels like these guys make being rich look very enjoyable.
Yeah.
So
yeah. My next one. This one's gonna hurt some people.
Oh.
Okay. It's gonna hurt some people. Denzel Curry and Jason Tatum. Okay. I would say both very good, but people were convinced that they were going to become the next guy. But they are not that person and probably never will be that person, and that is okay. Everything that they do, very good, right? But Denzel Curry is never going to supplant to Drake. He's never going to supplant to J. Cole. He's never going to supplant to, definitely not supplanting Kendrick, right? But they exist in that same lane, just how I feel with Jason Tatum. He's never going to be better than Jokic. I don't see it. I don't see him being better than Jokic. Not going to live up to the LeBron status. Not going to be better than KD.
I was going to say, not even KD.
Right? So, like, he's very good. Very good. But is he one of the greats? I don't think so. And I think Denzel Curry, just like that, Denzel Curry has a string of albums, very good. But there is no like thing where I'm like, this is must listen to. You have to listen to. You got to listen to it types. Except for Ultimate, which was at the very beginning of his career, just like Jason Tatum, when he was going at LeBron in the Eastern Conference Finals and be like, damn, that was crazy shit.
You know what's funny? And this is, I think a lot of people will not understand this one because not everyone's a Denzel Curry fan. But I would say Denzel Curry actually, like skill-wise, is, around or even higher where Jason Tatum is compared to his peers. I think that you may have probably a better person that you can put in this Denzel Curry spot with what you named. I think there's a lot of people who you could say like thought they were going to be the guy, didn't end up being the guy, but they still make music that's very good. So I think we can kind of revisit this one and see who fits there. But I like putting Tatum here because I think you heard a lot of Tatum fans' feelings.
Yeah,
those are the feelings that you heard from the Tatum fans because. You when you said this, I couldn't unhear it once you said it. Is that Tatum is more Paul George than he is Kevin Durant?
Yeah, and
I think that is a tough pill to swallow for a lot of the Tatum fans. Is that he's just so young. He's just so young. He'll figure it out. I don't think he is that guy, and I think that Denzel Curry also is not that guy. So this is a good one,
but very good.
Both very good.
Very good, but not great. There's a difference.
Yeah, both very good.
All right, my last... I have a handful of ones, but I don't want to go do a million of them. One of my last ones, and this one I chewed on for a little bit, and then it clicked for me, okay? Tyler, the Creator, and Jimmy Butler. Now, walk with me, gang. Walk with me, gang. At the very beginning, they were part of a collective that was actually... People didn't know it at the time, but this was huge. Okay. So Jimmy Butler was there with the Derrick Rose, Luol Deng, all that type of... But they were smaller. They didn't really fully understand what they were doing. But they knew that they were going to be awesome, right? Just like Tyler, the Creator, Odd Future, had that whole gang, Sid, the internet, Frank Ocean. Frank Ocean is Derrick Rose in this situation. Yeah. Right? Then... they're fumbling through the league, fumbling through albums, there's potential. Then, they both start to become bombastic. Okay. Tyler, the Creator, he's banned from England from performing. Yeah. Right? I think he's also banned from Australia. Right? Jimmy Butler went to the Timberwolves, irritated a million people. They traded him away because they hated him. Okay? Correct. Then... they're later in their careers, right? Like in their late 20s, early 30s, which they're both in that same year. Then we're like, holy shit, this person is incredible. Flower Boy, Igor, Call Me If You Get Lost. Yes. That is Jimmy Butler finals with the Heat. So Western Conference Finals, finals again. Yeah. Right?
Eastern Conference Finals.
Right. Sorry, Eastern Conference Finals. Where we're like, wait, hold on a second. They've been around for a while, Jimmy Butler. They've been around for a while. Yeah. But now we're like, hold on a second. Is this the best person out right now? Is this the best person in the league? Is it top 10? Before we were kind of sleeping on them. But now they're at the forefront of the genre, forefront of the league. Tyler, the Creator, has 2 fucking Grammys for Rap Album of the Year. Yeah. Jimmy Butler has been to the finals 2 times on a Heat team that nobody expected would ever make it to the finals. Fair. So I think Tyler, the Creator, is Jimmy Butler, and also their personalities, where they like what they do, but they kind of care about a different thing. Like Jimmy Butler with the big face coffee, and Tyler, the Creator, with the fashion, right? So they do their thing, but they're like, actually, there's other cool things that are happening as well. And also just their personalities, I feel like, are the exact same person.
They're both kind of goofballs and curmudgeons.
And they kind of trolling people. And they like trolling people, but they know when to like put it away. Like, remember Jimmy Butler wearing the dreadlocks for his...
Wearing,
because he was wearing them. He was wearing dreadlocks, these extensions, for the player photo at the beginning of the season. So anytime you saw... like the promo photo of him,
I loved that.
Was him in the dreadlocks. That's something Tyler, the Creator, would do. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So Tyler, the Creator, and Jimmy Butler. I know it sounded crazy at the beginning, but that's why you have to walk with me. Okay. So Tyler, the Creator, and Jimmy Butler.
I don't hate that one, honestly. You have a few good ones, man. Honestly, yeah. I don't hate the Tyler, Creator, Jimmy one, and I think too, it's like they both were underrated. Yeah. Both underrated. and then now they're kind of exceeding our expectations.
Exactly.
So I think there's something there.
We're asleep, and now we're like, holy shit! Again, they're at the top. They're at the near the pinnacle of the craft. For real.
No, they are at the top. This is my last one, and this one I think you could probably put a few people in this group. Is Vince Staples and Iman Shumpert. And, and my tie there was Vince Staples is someone who, we talk about being famous. He's one of those people who like everyone knows who he is, but not everyone listens to his music. Iman Shumpert is kind of like that, where he's known for his personality, doing interviews, his raps, his celebrity lifestyle, more than his actual play on the court.
Right,
so
I got you.
Tristan Thompson was someone I thought of here, but I think Tristan Thompson's actually known for like winning a championship in his finals run, more than Iman Shumpert is for his basketball. So I thought these two were good because they're famous for their craft, but more famous than their craft.
Yes. So
I thought this was a good one. There's probably a few basketball players you can put into this, but
I like that. That's
Iman
a good
Shumpert
one.
role. But I thought of it because I've seen Vince 4 times, live now, and I don't remember that Vince has done like a headlining show himself. And so it's like he probably can't do a headlining show himself, even though he's
pretty popular. If he's more popular, he's more famous if you saw him on the street than if you saw him on a stage,
which is crazy. So I think that made me think of it as well. And then Iman Shumpert, where it's like sometimes you see interviews with Iman Shumpert talking, and you're just like, wait, what team did you play for? Like, what are you talking about?
But he's such a brilliant storyteller.
He is, and so I thought that was a good one because this is some of the few times when it's like it's okay for you to be more famous in your craft. If you're a retired hooper, and you weren't a star when you were playing, that's okay. We can accept that.
Okay, all right. Now I have my last one. So I kind of teased this one with the Gunna Trae Young situation. Okay, Luka Doncic and Lil Baby. Okay, massive numbers. People are still streaming My Turn. That's still getting streamed right now.
That's correct.
Massive numbers, big breakout. Pikachu, huge breakout, right? You see them collab. You've seen them be able to go head to head with people at the top of the craft, right? And be able to stand their own, right? When he was on that track with Drake, we were talking about part of the reason we talk about Lil Baby is because he was doing his shit with Drake, right? Able to put up huge numbers, got immense potential, right? But has not fully done it. You know what I mean? I feel like Lil Baby has respect of a lot of people, but again, does not have doesn't have like the master album that we're like, this is the shit, right?
Depends who you ask.
Depends on who you ask.
Depends who you ask.
Depends on who you ask. But I was even in that sense, right? Luka Doncic is an MVP level type of player, but we just need to see him in that space. And I feel like Lil Baby is just like that. We can, whatever. I see the face, like the look on your face right now is going crazy. But I think his ability is, I would say, approaching this where he can actually put out like a really important album, right? But whether or not it will happen, I don't know. But again, I'll say that the Gunna comparison, he's ahead of Gunna for me.
Who, Lil Baby?
It's not even a question.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? And I think just like Luka Doncic with Trae Young, it's like not even a question how far ahead. But again, they came up at the same time. They got drafted in the same draft. They got traded for each other.
I think this is one I have a problem with because I am a Luka Doncic fan. I do think kind of disrespectful.
Really?
Compared to Lil Baby. I think Luka is more talented than Lil Baby is. And I would say the difference between Lil Baby and Luka, at least from my perspective, is I think with Luka, everyone kind of assumes it's going to happen. Regardless of how the offseason goes, he's the favorite for MVP the past 3-4 years.
Right.
And that's just people just like, hey, he's going to win one. He's going to win a championship at some point. He's going to get to the finals. Everyone's assuming it's going to happen. I don't see that with Lil Baby. You say we're waiting for this like kind of ultimate project from him that solidifies him. I think some people either think that he's already had that project with My Turn, which I think My Turn is that for a lot of people because no one saw him becoming as big as he was before My Turn. Even when that happened, everyone's like, do we still listen to Lil Baby? This is happening. Yeah. So I think that there's that. And then I don't think it's kind of assumed that he will reach whatever pinnacle you're speaking of. I think that's the big difference. It's like Luka at some point is going to win a championship. Everyone just assumes that. Lil Baby, some people are, this is the best he's ever going to be. And so I think for that reason, I think there's a little bit of a difference there.
Okay.
For Lil Baby, I would think you got to choose someone who is at near the top, at the pinnacle, but it's kind of you're riding on their past work.
Okay, so like a James Harden.
James Harden would be a good one. I would say Kawhi would be someone I would think of too, where it's like, they agree. Their best days are behind them, type of thing. I think even though Lil Baby is still young, I don't see Lil Baby making some, much better music than he's made in the past. So I would say that's a big difference between the two of them.
Okay. And then my last one, because this person needs to be mentioned. Kendrick Lamar, Jokic. Okay. Actually, low key, hang on a second.
I'm here. Take me with you. I'm with you.
Right? I was going to put Kawhi, right? But my issue with, he could be Kawhi, both from the same area, right?
Yeah.
The hairstyle, similar.
Yeah.
The thing with Kendrick Lamar is he's actually, again, for a lot of people, not even for a lot of people, he is closer to the GOAT than most people really understand. He's never had a bad album, right? And he's consistently putting out incredible work, right? And he has like a fucking Pulitzer, or you know what I mean? Like this guy is, or is it a Pulitzer? I think it is a Pulitzer.
Yeah, Pulitzer.
Right? So he's like doing shit that you never would even have conceptualized, right? For a rapper, let alone just him, right? That's the same thing with Jokic.
Okay.
Right? Jokic putting up numbers we've literally never seen before, like Wilt Chamberlain type shit, right? Anything he does is always good. Anytime he touches the ball, it's incredible. He can work with anybody. It's going to be great, right? He has his ring, just like his pimp. This ring could be his to pimp a butterfly.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Multiple MVPs, almost won 3 in a row.
Shut up.
Right? So, you know what I'm saying? Now you see what I'm saying? Jokic is one of the great players in the NBA history, but because of the low profile that they both have, he's not bombastic about it. Kendrick Lamar, not really. I mean, he's a little bit, but he's not going to be like, I'm actually like the GOAT. He doesn't really say that. He's like, I'm one of the best out here. Definitely. It's me and Drake. This is literally the only other person you can compare me to. But Kendrick Lamar typically keeps a lower profile. He was gone from music. He didn't release an album for 5 years.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm with you on this one, just because I think the perception is what is the big difference. I told you I was choosing the Nuggets to win the chip,
right?
4 months ago, and how everyone's talked about Jokic the past couple of years and underrating him and kind of questioning him. That doesn't match what his skill level is and what he's accomplished.
Right.
But no one would ever talk about Kendrick like that.
Right.
And I think that's the big difference is how they move, I think is similar because they're both low profile guys, do their own thing, spend time with the family, that kind of thing. But I think that Kendrick is the opposite of Jokic in that way, where the perception of Kendrick is Kendrick don't have to speak up for himself because someone gonna do it.
Yeah.
Someone will tell you, no, he's the GOAT, no, he's top 2, or he's whatever. Jokic is you have people whose basketball opinion you're supposed to respect saying that he's overrated.
You're right.
No one has saying Kendrick is overrated.
Right. Okay.
So I think that's the foible there.
All right. I had 2 down for Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
I mean, Kawhi kind of not really. It doesn't fit anymore. My second one, Steph Curry. Right. Easily recognizable as one of the greatest of all time. Right. What they've done is been just incredible. Some things that things you never thought would happen. The Pulitzer thing. I wanted to stamp that Pulitzer thing is a big deal.
No, for sure.
Right. No bad projects. Steph Curry has 4 fucking rings. Okay. He's the model of consistency, highly regarded by literally everybody. Unless you're a weirdo and just don't understand what's happening in the genre or basketball. And their ability is also kind of changing what's happening. We have Kendrick Lamar bringing in little baby Keem, right? And we had, up until last season.
Are you going to compare baby Keem to Jordan Poole?
Jordan Poole was going to be... Steph Curry was going to be bringing along Jordan Poole. But I also say he's from a team where there's actually really good talent around them. Like SZA, right? SZA could be your Klay Thompson or your Draymond Green. And the like, right? So I think, and you can even say, when Schoolboy Q was actually a thing, he was kind of, again, part of that Warriors dynasty.
No,
right?
definitely school
So
boogie was a thing.
I think if you don't like my Jokic analogy, I'll give you Steph Curry.
I like Steph better.
Okay.
I like Steph better. I think you could even do Punch as a Steve Kerr or the
Steve
Bob
Kerr.
Myers.
Yeah.
J-Rock, Absol, Q, or the Draymond, Iggy.
The pollster
Klay.
is like the unanimous MVP.
The pollster is like the unanimous MVP. I like that a lot. I think SZA is probably like Andrew Wiggins, late to the team, but huge impact.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like that one a lot.
Okay, so Steph Curry. Steph Curry.
Yeah, I think too. Steph is at a point now,
and also challenging LeBron.
I think is fits because Kendrick challenging Drake, and also Steph's at a point now where it's not arguable of where he is in history. I think there was a time when people were saying, kind of underrating him because of his time with KD.
But winning before and after is a nice deal.
That's a nice deal. And this is something they both have, which, is not a part of this criteria at all. But they will have the Kobe cosign.
Yeah.
So I think that fits right there.
Okay. All right. So thank you, everybody, for tuning into Sound Bites. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe this video. As we're making our way up the YouTube ranks, I want to say thank you again. Make sure you're subscribed and you're following on Instagram at AlbumOpod. TikTok at AlbumOpod, Twitter at AlbumOpod, and then YouTube, we're also at AlbumOpod. Thank you for everybody for listening. And Adriel, make sure you know yourself and know your worth.
Later days.